bicarbonate of soda,
Wow, that's a big tub.
some vinegar, oil and honey.
Okay, wow. You brought your whole kitchen. Don't worry, curious kids. In this episode, we are not going to be making a disgusting drink, but we are going to be mixing some of these ingredients together to make a model volcano!
Hi, I'm Thomas. I'm 8 years old. I live in Leeds, England.
And I'm Eloise. Welcome to The Conversation's Curious Kids, the podcast where a kid asks a great question and we find a very clever expert to answer it. As you may have guessed, Thomas has made one of these model volcanoes before on his quest to find out
How high can a volcano throw lava in the air?
So what sparked your interest in volcanoes? Have you seen a volcano erupt before?
I saw a video of, I think it was in Pompeii.
Very cool. That is, of course, a very famous volcanic eruption, and you can go to Pompeii today. You know what you can see, right?
Yeah, the ruins.
Yeah, but more specifically, you can see all the people that have been preserved by the volcano, which is obviously a very rare occurrence.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for your question, Thomas. We have today with us here a very clever academic who will be able to answer it. Hi.
Hello, I'm Martin, I'm 40 years old and I live in Southampton in England.
Where he works at the University of Southampton.
I'm a volcanologist. I could be more specific and say I'm a mineralogist working on active volcanoes, but it sounds cooler when I say I'm a volcanologist.
Yeah, it does. So Martin, have you seen a volcano erupt?
I have seen a volcano erupt actually, yeah. You will not remember this, Thomas, but in 2010 there was this really big eruption in Iceland of a volcano called Eyjafjallajökull. It made a huge ash cloud that disrupted airplanes all over the world. So there were like 2 months or so where many flights were not able to fly because of that eruption. So it was a major catastrophe. It wasn't really so bad in Iceland because the ash cloud just went everywhere else except for Iceland. So we had sunshine in Iceland most of the time. In fact, I could walk up right to the volcano and I could see lava there and ash coming out, all kinds of different volcanic miracles.
Wow.
And there were actually people barbecuing on the lava flow.
But if I put the sausage in the lava, it would burn instantly.
It would, yeah. The trick is not to put it in, but just to hold it on top, kind of like with a barbecue fire.
Yeah, but it's dangerous because if you accidentally fell in, you could die.
Definitely, yeah. And that's why you should never get close to lava flows. That's true.
Got that, curious kids? Stay safe and do not approach a volcano when it's erupting. Now, back to Thomas' question.
So what do you think is the highest a volcano has ever spewed lava into the air? 2 meters? 200 kilometers?
Maybe 5,000?
5,000 kilometers. That would be madness. But yeah, 5 is the right number.
500.
Take one more zero off.
50.
50. It's about 50 kilometers.
Even bigger than my daddy.
They would be much larger than your daddy, yeah? It's hard to imagine. So actually there was an eruption just 4 years ago, you were alive already, where satellites measured the height of the eruption was 57 kilometers high.
Wow.
That is the record of what we ever measured in terms of how high a volcano produced eruption columns. That was an underwater eruption called a Hanga Tonga eruption.
Wow.
But the height of the lava is not the only thing volcanologists measure to determine how big an eruption is. They use a very special scale called
the Volcanic Explosivity Index. It's kind of like the Richter scale that kind of says how big an earthquake was.
But instead of measuring tremors,
it actually measures the volume erupted by a volcano.
Or all the lava and rocks and gases put together.
And this is how it assigns numbers from 0 to 8. 0 being a tiny eruption, it's kind of like as big as your dad or even less. And 8 being the largest eruptions. So a VI of 8 would have produced 1,000 cubic kilometers of lava, which if you would spread that lava all equally over the UK, you would cover the entire UK in 4 meters of lava.
That's higher than a double-decker bus. Now, we've never measured an 8 on the scale, but it's thought that an eruption in New Zealand 26,500 years ago might have been that big. The biggest eruption we have recorded was
the one in Tambora, Indonesia. That was in 1815. That was a VI7. So that corresponds to 100 cubic kilometers of lava. So that was a very, very big eruption. It spewed so much ash into the stratosphere that traveled all around the globe. And it actually caused cooling of the entire globe, which meant in 1860 it was called the year without a summer, because it was getting so cold.
so big that it changed the climate for a few months. That is crazy. So we've learnt a lot about just how big volcanic eruptions can be. But why do volcanoes explode? To find out, we have to take a closer look at what the Earth is made of.
The Earth is actually made of several different layers.
Right at the centre, we have the inner core.
There's actually two parts to the core. The innermost core, it's actually solid. And then the core around that we still call the core, is the liquid stuff. And then the vast majority of the Earth is made up of the mantle, which is kind of like solid, but it can flow on very long timescales. And then on top of that, we have the Earth's crust, which is this tiny sliver of the entire volume of the Earth.
Let's zoom in on the mantle. Sometimes changes in the Earth's crust or even at the core can cause the mantle to melt, forming magma. This magma can then make its way to the Earth's crust, causing an eruption. But what makes it do that? Let's zoom in a little more. The answer lies in what magma is made of.
So magma consists of three things. We have molten rock, so liquid type of thing. We have crystals that are floating inside that molten rock. And we have gases. So that could be water vapor or CO2, carbon dioxide, like, soda bottles, or other gases like sulfur that smell like rotten eggs. And they are all trapped in the ground. So that is a magma.
Magma is quite stiff.
That's true, actually. It is very stiff because there's so many crystals inside that it can't actually flow that easily.
And some crystals could be diamonds.
Yeah, you are right that there are some volcanoes that have erupted diamonds. That's true. It's extremely rare, though, especially nowadays. It's called a kimberlite volcano, and these are the ones that produce diamonds. They come from deep in the Earth's mantle, where the pressure is high enough to make diamonds. And so these eruptions can reach the surface super quickly and very explosively, and they often contain diamonds. I say often, but actually we haven't had a kimberlite eruption in a very long time.
Whoa, I definitely did not know that. Coming up, we'll be doing 2 experiments to find out how magma comes to the surface and what makes eruptions really big. So if you want to join in, make sure you've got some bicarbonate of soda, some vinegar, and a bottle or mug to hand. You'll also need some oil, some honey, 2 containers, and a straw. That's after this short break.
Hello, I'm Emma from the Earth Rangers podcast. If you think that animals are amazing, then our podcast is the one for you. Join me as I travel the world to discover the wildest animal facts out there and solve nature's biggest mysteries. If you're a fan of animal expeditions like on PBS's Wildcrats and the BBC's Planet Earth, or the mystery and intrigue of Carmen Sandiego, then you'll love the Earth Rangers podcast. This is a journey you won't want to miss. Follow the Earth Rangers podcast on Apple Podcasts, and for more information, go to gzmshows.com. See you soon!
Welcome back. So what makes that hot magma burst through the surface? Curious kids, I'm gonna need your help here. It's demonstration time. Have you got your vinegar and bicarbonate of soda? Now get your container ready. Thomas is holding a tall glass beaker, and as our resident model volcano expert, he's going to take us through the experiment.
So I'm gonna put in some vinegar, then I'm gonna put in the bicarbonate of soda.
Oh, wow! What's happening?
It's exploding.
Whoa, yeah, it's frothing up and coming out the neck of your skinny beaker.
Oh, it's still going.
Thomas put some more bicarbonate of soda into his glass beaker.
Wow. That one was way better than the first one or any of them.
Wow. You're getting better and better as each eruption goes by.
Eruptions take practice.
So what is going on here? Well, mixed together, the vinegar and the bicarbonate of soda produce carbon dioxide, which rushes up to the lip of the beaker, causing an eruption. Something similar happens inside a volcano.
So we've talked about magma, that it contains all these gases, and these gases are actually the driver of volcanoes exploding or spewing lava into the air, as you've just produced in your experiments. So these gas bubbles, as they start forming, they want to escape the magma because they are much less dense. They want to get to the surface, essentially. And so they make their way through the molten rock. And that's what's driving these big eruptions.
Yeah. It's possible to make lava.
It is possible, yeah. I've made lava, actually.
Whoa, how did you do that?
I actually used a very large furnace, like an oven at home, but it can actually heat not only to 200 degrees like your home oven, but it can heat up to 1,000 degrees. And not only can it heat to high temperatures, but it's also placed in a specific little steel bottle that can increase the pressure to the high pressures that would be inside the earth. And then I had a tiny, tiny capsule inside that oven with some rock powder. And I melted that rock powder and I actually made lava and I crystallized some crystals in that lava.
Whoa.
That's pretty cool, huh?
That's amazing. But as you already know, some eruptions are much bigger than others. And this is mostly caused by one thing: how thick the magma is. So how does that work? Time for our second experiment. Have you got some oil, some honey?
So I've got them both.
2 containers and a straw? If not, pause the episode and go and get them. Now pour a few tablespoons of oil into a container. Then pour a similar amount of honey into the other container.
So the honey and the olive oil represent 2 different types of lava. The difference being that depending on the composition of these lavas, sometimes they move more like honey and sometimes they move more like oil.
Because the honey doesn't really move that fast, but the oil moves really fast.
Nice. So, have you got your straw there?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you use your straw to blow into the olive oil? So what's happening?
It's bubbling.
Yeah.
It's bubbling.
And it's rumbling. The air is the gas and the olive oil is the lava and it pushes it.
Very good. So would you say that it's easy to blow bubbles in the olive oil or hard?
Easy.
And the gas can easily escape again. It just bubbles out. So olive oil volcanoes would be more similar to those volcanoes in Hawaii or in Iceland, where you can see those beautiful fountains coming up.
That's what you saw, no, in Iceland, Martin?
Yeah, I saw those beautiful lava fountains there that come from very runny, like olive oil type lava.
Nice. Shall we see what happens when you blow into the honey?
Yeah.
Do you get any bubbles in?
A few bubbles.
So would you say it's easy or difficult to blow bubbles in the honey?
Difficult.
And what happened to the bubbles once they were in?
Now I can see a bunch of bubbles.
Yeah, the bubbles are now stuck inside the honey.
Wow.
If the lava is very like honey or not runny, then the bubbles cannot escape easily, so they get trapped inside the magma. And that basically then means you can build up a lot of pressure under the earth, which drives these huge eruptions.
Got that, curious kids? The thicker the magma, the more explosive the eruption. And potentially, the higher it'll fly up into the air. Did we answer your question, Thomas? You know how a volcano works now and how it throws lava in the air?
It throws it by the gas pushing it. Boo!
Very good, very good. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you, Thomas.
Thanks, Thomas.
Bye-bye.
thanks so much for listening to this episode of The Conversation's Curious Kids. If you've got a question for us, please do email us at curiouskids@theconversation.com and we will do our best to find an expert to answer it. This podcast was made by The Conversation, a news and analysis platform bringing research expertise to the world. You can go to theconversation.com and search for Curious Kids and find hundreds of answers to questions from kids just like you. The producer for this series is Katie Flood and the executive producer is Gemma Ware. It was presented and sound designed by me, Eloise. If you like the show, please tell your friends and do give us a review wherever you listen. See you next time.